Hello and welcome into this Monday night varsity lacrosse matchup between the Francetown North Knights and the Kirkwood Pioneers. I'm Braden Kettinger, joined by my partner Jackson Calhoun. Jackson, what can you tell us about this opposing Kirkwood team?
This Kirkwood team is very aggressive. They come into the contest 0-4 with a couple of rainouts, but don't let that fool you. Junior Lily Dodd Russing has had 7 goals in her last 4 games, and freshman Mia Campbell has 6 on the season as well. Senior Elise Arthur leads her team in ground balls.
Okay, so we know a few players to watch out for, and then on this night squad, the main objective tonight, we're without captain Lainey Quantz. She has 5 goals on the season, and they look to bounce back. Just the 11th, it looks like they lost to Northwest. They've had a great start to their season. They lost 10-1. As we head into this face-off here, looks to be number 2, Ari Larson. And we are about to be underway. As that first face-off goes the Knights' way. Senior Leah Wenger looks to defend. Kirkwood early in the offensive zone. They play with it behind the goal. Open shot on goal. Save from Isabel Lash. Senior goalkeeper has started for 3 years for the Knights, so definitely an experienced player. Jackson, I believe she's committed to go play at the next level as well. So definitely a great player.
Yeah, she is. She has been a staple for this Knights lacrosse team for all 4 years she's been in the program and the 3 years she started on the varsity level.
Early penalty shot, an early test for her. Just a minute into this contest. And that will be wide right.
A good start for the Knights defensively, as the Pioneers had a couple chances to score but weren't able to capitalize.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson, I've never been there. I've never played lacrosse, but I definitely, getting an early stop gives you a little bit of confidence for that defense for sure.
I mean, it does in any sport, honestly,
yeah.
And especially a physical and, big sport like lacrosse is.
It's the Knights carry into that offensive zone. Larson's playing with it. She's in the midfield trying to find a teammate. She looks wide to Varvera. Varvera finds a teammate. Into Merritt. Merritt's finding a shot. She's the co-leader in goals for this season. The freshman, Maddie Gibbs, has the ball. Finds Larson. Larson's playing with it in front of the goal. And she finds the back of the net. An early 1-0 lead for these Knights.
And
Jackson
what a move there by Ari Larson. She has been a staple of this team as well. She is probably the most dangerous player on the Knights offensively with Lainey Quant out.
Yeah, and Jackson, this is an early goal, early start for the Knights. Great, last season they went to Kirkwood and lost in a tough 6-5 down to the wire loss. So a good goal to start is definitely something that will help them get in the win column. Maddie Gibbs is in the face-off for the Knights. Jackson, something I'm always impressed with, that ball goes so high on those face-offs.
I mean, you see the lacrosse ball, and you think it would be something more of a baseball, but it's really like one of those bouncy balls you buy, your nephew or something.
Yeah, like I've been hit with one of those one time. That did not feel very good.
I mean, they're definitely a lot harder than you would expect. And
oh, for sure.
They go pretty high in there.
Yeah. There's a penalty shot from Maddie Gibbs. That won't find the back of the net. Kirkwood is able to recover. Early in this contest, about 3 minutes in, this has been all night so far after that early stop. As Kirkwood looks to possess in their offensive zone. They charge towards Lash. She finds a teammate. and they're put to a bit of a stop there. Those midfielders got back for the Knights, applied a bit of pressure. And Lash able to make the save. Potentially a penalty here. Looks like some unfair play there. It'll be a penalty from 8 yards out. And that will find the back of the net. Great shot from Kirkwood to level the score.
And the Pioneers just completely erase the Knights' small, short-lived lead, but you still see good things for the Knights. You were able to stop a couple of fast breaks. Just penalties and the easy free shots are holding you back. You got to stay disciplined out there if you're Howell North.
Yeah, Jackson, we talked highly of her in the pregame. Lily Dodd Russing, the one with the goal there. That moves her season total to 8. Looks to be Maddie Gibbs yet again in the faceoff against Russing. Ball goes Knights' way. Senior Leah Wanger able to pick it up. She brings it into the offensive third. She finds Gibbs. Gibbs to Merritt. Merritt is not able to get that pass. Kirkwood intercepts. Oh, but that's a ground ball. Lindsay Hayslip, the defender there to poke it out. Jackson, lacrosse, such a high-paced game. You know, you definitely have to be conditioned if you're going to be one of those players, especially those wing-backs in the defense. You're doing a lot of running, and it never really stops.
It really doesn't, Braden. I mean, they have to be in shape and ready to, take off at any moment. As like earlier, the ball, you never really know where it's going to go after it's bounced off someone. You see there, ball flies into the back of the end zone. I mean, you just got to be ready to take off, and the Knights have seemed to have been doing a good job at it, stopping a lot of the fast breaks and not letting anything easy up.
Yeah, and I mean, talk about someone who needs to be conditioned. Those midfielders are playing an offensive position and a defensive position. We see midfielders in a ton of different sports, but definitely a lot more stoppages in those sports. With soccer, that ball goes out fairly often. You get a chance to catch your breath, but with lacrosse, I can't say the same. That ball goes out, but it keeps moving. Gibbs charged down the sideline. She finds Wanger. Tries to get it to Varvera. That pass won't go. Kirkwood tries to take on the defense. 2-on-4. Redmond finds Dodd Russing. Definitely a different pace to these two teams. FHN keeping the pace very heavy, very fast, and Kirkwood trying to slow it down and play their own game.
I mean, they seem to be very aggressive when they have a chance to push it up the field, but once they get stopped, they just want to take it back out and play their game, get the best shot available.
Yeah, we talked about it before. Russing's definitely the target player, and this offense definitely runs through her. She makes the decisions. She's the playmaker, but also definitely scores a good number of those.
Looks like a miss there, recovered by Kirkwood.
Carly Codd, the one that pushed that out. Russing trying to find an angle. She kicks it to Campbell. Campbell trying to find a teammate. Puts it behind the net. Codd finds a teammate. So it will be a shot. Lash will block it. Can the Knights get it out of their defensive zone? That will be a penalty. Will it fall on the Knights? It will not. Knights get out of there. She'll take it herself. Finds Gibbs. Gibbs, one of only 2 freshmen to make the varsity roster. With Jackson, you know, with girls lacrosse, they don't have multiple teams, but they do have varsity and JV. They have 2 teams in the sense that they have 2 different schedules. That JV team will play games after the varsity team, but both rosters sit the bench for both games. But yes, Maddie Gibbs, one of 2 freshmen to make that varsity roster.
Definitely impressive, and we see her impact and why she is on the roster early today, pushing the pace, playing aggressive like how the Knights seem they want to do.
She finds senior Merritt. They're pushing the pace. She tries to go to around the net. That won't go. Larson in the center. That one won't go either. Merritt there to recover. Merritt goes cross field. FHN slowing the pace down, trying to find the right angle. And that will be another stoppage. Will that be a penalty on the Knights? Doesn't appear so. That will be on the Pioneers. Looks to be a penalty shot for the Knights. The ball's loose. Leah Wanger trying to recover. Looks like Kirkwood recovers the ground ball. They head into that offensive zone. The Knights defense doing a great job of bending and not breaking. They're allowing Kirkwood to enter their zone, but not too many shots on goal other than that penalty. Hayslip carries. Getting double team there. She finds her teammate. Varvera carries. In the final third, the ball's loose. Larson tries to recover right in front of the net, and they will play back to their goalkeeper. Hubbard. Hubbard gets past Larson. Or excuse me, Van Horn. Apologies. Gibbs finds Van Horn. Slowing the pace down for the Knights. That'll be an errant pass. Jackson, after the early start for the Knights, this game has definitely become more level. Definitely, you know, an even playing field here.
Yeah, you don't see the Knights able to find some of these fast break opportunities they were getting early in the first quarter. With only about a minute left here, we'll see if they can gain some momentum going into the second.
Quick shot by the Pioneers, and that one will go. Mia Campbell gets on the score sheet, netting her 7th of the season. She wants to play catch-up to her teammate. LDR and Campbell are the first 2 on the score sheet for the Pioneers. 2-1 Kirkwood. And we tick just under a minute in this first quarter. Jackson, what have we learned from this first quarter?
We see the Pioneers like to take what they can get if they get stopped. But if not, they like to push the pace, and they get the ball to their best players, as we see, and let them go to work. Their 2 best players having the 2 goals and putting them in this position and in the lead.
Yeah, I can't say it's the wrong strategy, right? Push it to your best players and have the best opportunity of scoring, and obviously it's worked well so far. Arthur carries into the offensive third. She takes another shot, and that one goes in the back of the net. This is quickly getting out of hand. 3-1 Pioneers. All 3 players that we highlighted in the pregame, all on the score sheet so far. The senior this time is right before the end of this quarter. The Pioneers are trying to run up the score.
If you're the Knights, you would love to get back into the net before this quarter ends, just so you don't go down too. But you also want to stop the momentum, as the Pioneers are looking like they're going to be able to run away with this one easily.
Yeah, you need to catch some of that momentum that you had early in this contest. You came out and you were firing and you were first on the score sheet. Catch a bit of that momentum and get yourself back on the score sheet. Arthur carries yet again. Slow and finding her teammate. She finds LDR. Be a stoppage. Looks to be a penalty on the Knights. Oh, my apologies. That ball made it in the back of the net. That was a weird looking shot from the Pioneers.
I couldn't even tell that it was a score. I didn't realize they got
Jackson from our point of view. I couldn't even tell.
I didn't realize they had scored until I looked at the scoreboard and saw it was 4-1 now.
That was such an odd-looking interaction.
And this quickly become an emergency, sending off the warnings for the Knights, as the Pioneers have scored 3 times in 1 minute.
Your main objective here, if you're the Knights, you need to get out of this quarter and you need to go talk it over as a team. Possess the ball.
You honestly just need to get the ball back. Try to find your groove, your errant passes, and here we go. We have an opportunity.
Larson takes it. She finds Merritt. Merritt drives. Finds a shot, but it falls out of her net. Goalkeeper will collect. And a long pass to end the quarter. This first looked to be owned by the Knights, and quickly in those last 4 minutes, Jackson, the Pioneers jumped on it.
I mean, this was a contest for about 11 of those 12 minutes, and in that last one, I mean, it's looking all Pioneers right now.
As we look in between these corners, it's a bright 69 sunny. Hottest part of the day. I was just out there just a minute ago, Jackson. It definitely doesn't feel good. So it's something you got to take into account. You want to get those girls nice and subbed out. You know, they've been playing all spring where it's that nice, you know, cool 50-degree weather. We're starting to creep back into those 80s. We definitely want to get those girls in and out and stay hydrated.
You can definitely see them getting a little sluggish out there towards the end. I mean, you just want to take these 2 minutes, regroup, rest up, and get ready to go hard again at the start of the second.
If you're in that team huddle, Jackson, you're Coach Pugh. What do you say after that? Is it primarily they were getting tired and they needed a break in that last minute? Were they, you know, could they have changed their passing lanes? We noticed a lot of long passes. What would you say if you were head coach Pugh?
I mean, you don't panic. You know you can hang with them. You've already gotten on the board. You know you can score. You know you can defend. You've blocked some shots. You just have to stay disciplined as early penalties plague them, and you know you just got to get back to your game. You're letting them get to theirs. You're playing at their pace. You got to go back into yours.
I couldn't agree more, Jackson. Yeah, you know, and if you're looking in that Pioneers huddle, a lot of opposite things are said. You started that game not great. You were playing right with them, and you hopped on that gas pedal at the end, and you got yourself a 3-goal cushion right before this second quarter.
I mean, for the Pioneers, you know, we talked about it before the game. You know who's got you here, and you know who's going to get you this win. I mean, they got to keep giving the ball to their best players and letting them make plays.
Yeah, Lily Dodd-Russing already on the score sheet. Mia Campbell, that second star, so to speak. They were both able to score goals early and, you know, get their team a bit of a cushion.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the Knights are going to respond here in this second quarter. Are we going to have a game, or are they just going to fall over?
As that is the end of our intermission, both teams head back out on the field. Jackson, if you were a lacrosse player, where would you want to play?
Are we talking about college? Or
no, like you were one of those girls down there. What position would you want to play?
Oh, you mean like, okay. I'd have to play attack. I'm trying to score. You know?
I don't know, man. I think I'd want to be a goalie.
I mean, you play in all sports to win the game. You have to score.
That's a good point.
I want to be the scorer.
That's
I want to be the
point.
one winning my team the games.
That's a good point.
No one cares. No one cares about defense.
I want to be one of those goalies, man. Izzy has a good job, and that stick is awesome, dude. Like,
I mean, it's cool. It's a big stick.
I'm
not.
The net on
not
the end is the size of my computer in front of me, Jackson.
With big sticks. I'm not a dog.
I mean, true. That's true.
We're not using that. I'm trying to go score, man.
That's true. That's true. You know, in boys lacrosse, there's the 6-foot stick.
Is that a difference?
What do you think those sticks down there are 6 foot long, Jackson?
I mean, no. I mean, these girls aren't even 5'5".
Yeah, that's true. That's what I mean. In boys lacrosse, some of those guys use a 6-foot stick.
I mean,
I got the chance to watch the Howell United team the other day. Very, very long stick. As we are back in action here, Lily Dodd Russing possesses. Oh, and another goal from these Pioneers. This time, Arthur back on the score sheet. Jackson, after long, she's going to be the leading scorer.
I mean, it's looking that way. I mean, if I were them, I'd honestly be having a competition as they're almost making the Knights look like a joke out here. But, I mean, you got to just stay composed if you're Howell North. You can't let it get too out of hand.
Arthur came into this contest with 0 goals on the season. She now possesses 2 and doubled her points.
It's a breakout game for the senior?
Yeah, for the senior. Elise Arthur, excuse me. It's face off. Both players on the same side here. Don't know if I've ever seen this before. As that goes straight to the Pioneers. Wheels are starting to fall off for these Knights. It's another shot on goal, uncontested. Jackson, it may be time for panic mode. It may be time to switch things up here.
I mean, I was just about to ask. I'm not trying to be that if these girls have worked hard, but at one time do you bring in new faces? I mean,
I wouldn't even say all that. I think the main thing I would do is just sub out some of these girls. The defense looks a little tired.
What I mean. Just like get new faces on the field. You know, not saying keep who's out there out for the whole game. We've seen them compete, but
give them some rest.
It just needs a reset.
Yeah. Face off yet again goes the Pioneers' way.
Pioneers have had such success on these fast breaks right after the face-off. Let's see if they can continue with this success. They seem to be slowing it down here now.
As we just ticked into our 10th minute of this second quarter, this second quarter has come fast for these Knights. So that's another goal for the Pioneers. Things couldn't have gone worse in these last 4 minutes of regulation. As the score now sits 7-1. Izzy Lash, playing a great game up till these last, 4 minutes, like I said, and is now allowed 6 in the last 4 minutes.
I mean, at this point, if you're any player, it's going to start getting to your head. I think she needs to take a break, look in the mirror, and just, get back to what she knows. She's a talented goalkeeper. She's just not playing her best ball right now.
Yeah, the biggest thing, is don't let that get in her head. She's still a great goalkeeper, and that's not going to change. Get back to, like what you said, get back to what works.
I mean, it's not easy to come here. She's going to play at the next level. She just needs to remember that and get back to dominating. As the Knights are able to win a face-off here, we're able to see if they're
they made a bit of a switch there. Larson in there, and Gibbs able to recover outside of that face-off. Merritt possesses. Merritt charges towards the goal. Trying to find a shot. That one will find the back of the net. Merritt on the score sheet today and will now cut that lead to just 5.
I mean, that's huge for the Knights.
Yes.
Able to show that they can still compete, that this game is not over.
Yes.
They just completely took the Pioneers formula and put their own spices in the recipe.
Exactly. You know, if I'm Coach Pugh, I definitely put Ari Larson back in that center.
You're able to win the face-off, get it to one of your more talented players, and go to work.
As Larson yet again is in that face-off. Excuse me. She's quick into the offensive third. Like you said, Jackson, they're completely copying that offensive formula. She finds Merritt. Oh, that one will be an errant pass. But Merritt able to pick it up. Running her offensive quick. Maddie Gibbs trying to find a shot. That'll be a save from the goalkeeper. Wasn't able to locate it right away, but she was able to get it before the offense. It's Kreckler trying to win a ground ball. We haven't talked much about her today. Senior also committed to go play lacrosse at the next level, at North Central College. As Kirkwood's back in that offensive zone.
This is promising to see from the Knights, as Kirkwood had another great opportunity to keep doing what they've been doing well with a fast break, and the Knights just shut it down. Like you said, Kreckler a big part in that, able to poke the ball loose and slow down the momentum there for the Pioneers.
Couldn't agree more as that ball heads out. Elsa Bischoff, the one to stop it. This will be Knights possession. Long pass. She finds Hayslip. Hayslip charging down that sideline. Hayslip loses the ball. Kirkwood trying to get out of their defensive zone. That will be an errant pass. Leah Wanger trying to recover. Forcing a ground ball. Barbera right there with her. And Barbera able to poke that out, and that will go Kirkwood way. Oh, and that one slips right out. Good interception there. Merritt takes it down that sideline.
The Knights have a great chance to push here and almost lost it. Able to recover. Tight pass. Barbera gets jumped and loses it. And all for the Pioneers.
LDR, or excuse me, Addison Redmond. Oh, and a low shot. That's a tough one. Mia Campbell scores her second of the day. That brings her level with Lily Dodd-Russing on the season, both at 8 goals in 5 games. Both having stellar seasons.
Impressive, especially for Mia Campbell, just a freshman doing this, dominating the game in a way like this.
Yeah, and I mean, for these Pioneers, the future looks great. 2 underclassmen leading the scoring table. But, you know, the old ones still got it. Elise Arthur has 2 today. It's been a great start for the Pioneers, as the Knights look to recover here and get back into the scoring graces, Is Gibbs able to recover there? Jackson, if I had to pinpoint one specific issue that I think the Knights have struggled with, that's caused most of this big gap in the scoring, is they're not winning these faceoffs. Most of the time, the Pioneers are getting that ball and heading straight into the offensive third.
I mean, when you're letting a team do what they want to do, it's hard to be successful. And honestly, it's really more ball control. The Knights are just really playing loosey-goosey with it. I mean,
yeah,
you got to take it more serious and take your opportunities. They're just kind of throwing whatever pass they want, not able to secure one, while Kirkwood is just attacking downhill.
Yeah, and I feel, when you are down on the scoreboard, the biggest thing is to prioritize keeping possession, and they're going for these long passes and, losing the ball quite often. The biggest thing is finding your pass and, trying to work towards the goal rather than getting there right away. Hayslip finds Merritt. Merritt to Gibbs. Varvera charging in. She won't go for the shot. Finds Merritt on the outside. Playing a bit of playmaker here. Finding an angle. That one will be poked out. And looks to be a penalty for the senior. And she will get a shot at just 12 yards out. Oh, and that one falls out. She recollects and finds Gibbs, keeping the offensive possession. Right back to her. Yeah, Jackson, with like we said before, senior Lainey Quant, she's sort of the point guard of this offense, playing director that makes Merritt, step up into that role, and we're seeing it. Maybe a bit of growing pains to start here. We're used to the 4-year captain, directing this team. But I think not very bad at all so far. They have two on the score sheet as they look to get through some of these awkward times to begin this game. We tick just under 5 minutes in the second quarter.
And Braden, if I'm the Knights, I'd like to get the ball to Ari Larson more. She's proven that she can compete at this level, and as one of the younger players on the team, you want to see if she's able to step up into that leader role with Lainey Quan out.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, like we mentioned before, 5 goals on the season, up to 6. Yeah, and I think the other thing, Jackson, that we haven't really mentioned is, the senior captain, goalie Izzy. She's had a bit of struggle so far, conceding 8. But the biggest thing is that's not completely on her. That's also on the defense in front of her. They need to slow down the offense and keep the pace, correct. We saw it at the beginning. They had it great. They were attacking quickly. They were, hitting on all levels, and they're just not really doing that right now. They're not clicking. As again, Kirkwood fast break on offense.
I mean, stopping the fast break is a whole team effort. If you're the Knights, you got to take care of the ball to not let them get opportunities. If you're the midfield, you got to slow them down. And
it's a great save from Lash.
Once they get there, Izzy Lash needs to keep making plays like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it starts with a few plays strung together to get this team synergy back together. And plays like that are one of them.
For the Knights, you definitely want to add a couple more goals here just to cut the lead to a manageable position.
Yeah, a high-scoring game in itself with Lacrosse, but 6 goals is definitely not where you want it to be. Slash makes another great save. Can the Knights get it out of her third? Knights carry it out. Lash finds her wing back. Drives down the sideline. She tries to find Gibbs. Gibbs tries to poke at it. LDR, a woman on a mission, but she misses up high.
It seems to me that there was a penalty before she was able to get her shot off. Are we going to see a...
Yeah, is the referee going to... Yes, it will be a penalty. She will get this shot from just 8 yards out. The ball falls out. She loses her free shot.
The Knights catch a break there.
Yeah, for sure.
And are able to have a fast break here led by Varvera.
Varvera hasn't been able to carry the ball a ton this game. as Merritt recollects, finds an angle, and she finds the back of the net. Her second of the day, cuts that lead back to 5.
And that's huge there for the Knights, as now they have, I believe, tied the Pioneers in point total for the second quarter.
Yes. So, yeah, point differential in the second quarter's level. That's good.
I mean, they've proven that they can play here, and it's just really that rough last minute of the first quarter haunting the Knights.
Yeah, definitely a bit of catch-up to play for the rest of this game. But, yeah, like you said and you pointed out, the point differential just in this quarter, it's level. So maybe they can get it on their own side, get that in the positives. As Larson's back in that face-off.
With about 1:30 here, we'll see if the Knights can make their own little run here with a minute left, or if the Pioneers can repeat what they did in the first.
Arthur carries, tries to find a teammate. Kreckler defending her. Arthur charges in. Only the goalie to beat, and she does find the back of the net. Arthur, her third. She's having herself a day. Now up to 3 goals in her senior season and pushes that lead to 6 yet again. She's celebrating with Lily Dodd Russing.
It's like with every step the Knights take, the Pioneers just push right back and don't even let them breathe.
So, yeah, Jackson, I mean, varsity basketball player I'm sitting next to, potentially playing at the next level. You know, you've had to come back a few times in games. You know, you're not always leading this game. You're going to find yourself down 6 goals. You're going to find yourself down 15. What would you do in this situation? How do you get your mind right in competing and pretending like that scoreboard is 0 even when it's not?
A great way to think about it is that you just want to go out there when you're down with the mindset that it's 0-0. You're playing a whole new game, especially as we're coming up on the half. Another half of lacrosse is a whole new game. You can flip this game on its head. It's 9-3 right now. You can come out and score 10 goals in the second half. I mean, you just got to get back to your game and push the ball and get it to your best players. You're missing a few people, but so what? Some people just got to step up.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And like we saw them score just those 4 goals in just a minute, you can do the exact same.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a impossible game. You know you can hang with these girls.
As Kreckler carries. Kreckler finds a teammate behind the goal.
We got about 10 seconds here if the Pioneers want to make one more push, but
appears they will carry.
Pushing it off.
Kreckler making sure they don't
have to see
score.
a miracle, but I don't think we will.
And that will be the halftime buzzer. We head into this halftime. 9-3, Pioneers, 6-goal lead. Jackson, this is, you know, despite what you see on the scoreboard, this hasn't been a complete domination for the entire game. There's been spurts where these Pioneers have looked really dominant, but we've also seen times where the Knights look great. And there's bits and pieces that you can put together to complete this puzzle that is, you know, scoring at every level. So, yes, you see 6 goals, but like you mentioned before, the second half can be a complete new game with the right mentality. But we see 3 goals from Elise Arthur. We see 2 from Campbell and 1 from Lily Dodd Russing. You know, a very entertaining contest up to this point, for sure.
Definitely a high-scoring match. 9-3 is already a higher total of points than Howell North's last game at Northwest.
Yeah.
And we still have a whole nother half to go. The Knights definitely are going to need to slow down the Pioneers. And honestly, if they're able to do that, I mean, it's not the scoring that's the issue. We've seen that they can put the ball in the net. We know they got players that can do that. We just need to see if senior Izzy Lash can take a hold of her team and say she ain't allowing no more.
I couldn't agree more, Jackson. Halftime, 9-3 Pioneers. We will join you after just a few short minutes. Hello and welcome back to this varsity girls lacrosse matchup as we enter into the second half. The Pioneers return to the field. Jackson, we saw that first half, very eventful, 12 goals in the back of the net, mostly, 9 of those coming from that Kirkwood sideline as the Knights also return to the field. They had plenty of time to talk it over, both squads for the Pioneers, not a whole lot to talk over. Outside of those first 6 minutes, they've played nearly a perfect game. And for the Knights, I can't say the same. The main thing I've noticed, Jackson, is, a pacing issue. They'll go really slow and then really fast, and neither really have been working too well. So we see that 6-goal deficit. Jackson, if you had to pinpoint one specific issue for the Knights that, they could fix coming into the second half, what would you say?
It's still their ball control. I mean, they got to keep it. They got to keep it together. You're not going to be able to score without the ball, and you're not going to be able to stop the team from scoring if you just keep giving them easy fast break opportunities.
And that's a great way to start. Larson possesses in these first seconds of the second half. Short-lived as Arthur charges down this sideline. As Kirkwood slows it down yet again. Arthur not able to find her teammate. Bischoff not able to keep possession. As we now see Izzy Lash in the field for the first time today. We saw a goalie change as Walker will now put on the helmet and the long stick. Gibbs in the midfield. Finds Larson. Larson going behind the goal to try to find a teammate. Try to wrap around. Merritt charges in. Beats the defender. Oh, that hits off the crossbar and out. Great attempt there. Bailey Cosby tries to find Varvero. That one will not go. Potentially a big collision there. Gibbs trying to get that ball back, swiping at the ball. Devers all by herself, taking on the entire team. Lash outplaying outfield. That pass won't connect.
And ball control seeming to be an issue for both teams here early in the second half, but a couple fast break opportunities on both sides, neither able to capitalize.
Ground ball from Merritt and a big collision there. Both girls on the ground. Merritt looks to have taken the worst of it. She's back on her feet, has her stick. She appears to be okay. And that will definitely be a penalty. Early opportunity for these Knights. She will get a shot on goal from just 8 yards out.
Slow to get up there from Merritt, but a breath of relief for the Knights as she's been probably our most impactful player tonight.
Oh, and
almost
just
throwing it there. Sorry.
Great save. Sorry. We were both very excited there.
You always love to see the Knights score.
Gibbs trying to poke it out there. Russing all by herself. Taking on 1, 2 defenders. Only the goalkeeper. And a great save.
And that right there could be the difference for the Knights. Just able to stop these opportunities and get out and run.
As Van Horn possesses. Finds Cosby. There's Kreckler, or Gibbs, apologies. Larson, and a bouncer into the back of the net. Cuts our lead back to 4. Jackson, we've been here a few times. This lead has been 5. Gosh, I can't even count. I'm a senior in high school. Gosh.
It's okay, Braden. Numbers.
It's okay.
Numbers are hard, man.
No, this has been a thing all year. Like, Kane has always messed with me with football. I can't, I can't do the. Those are 7s, though. Like, I'm a little more embarrassed here,
I mean,
like.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's all good. 5-point game, though, for the Knights here. 4-9. Pioneers leading. But that's some promising things here for the Knights. Able to strike first in the second half and stop from fast breaks for the Pioneers.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing here also is, we've been at this 5-goal lead about 3 times now. The biggest thing for the Knights is not allowing it to go back to 6. Let's try to get that to 4, and let's, slowly build. The Pioneers win that face-off. Pioneers charging into the net. It'll be a bouncer. Goalkeeper Morgan Conlon able to stop that. So that ball will roll all the way to the score clock. Or, gosh, not score clock. What am I talking about? As that'll be an easy one for Mia Campbell. She has 3, competing with her senior teammate Arthur. As this lead grows to 6 yet again. Jackson, I may have jinxed him there.
And originally, early in that possession, some promising stuff, forcing a miss, but not able to do it back-to-back times. You still aren't panicking if you're the Knights.
No.
You keep scoring. I mean, you just got to keep your head in the game.
No, when we look up at that scoreboard, 8:10 remaining just in this third quarter, only 4 minutes, or less than 4 minutes into this quarter. And an entire fourth to play. A ton of game left as, yes, we tick into this 8th minute of play. Or this 5th minute of play, excuse me. Charlotte Wheeler holds possession. Slowing it down yet again for the Pioneers. Definitely been the way they have directed on offense, but I can't say it hasn't worked. In the double-digit scoring, as that one's off the crossbar.
Slowing it down also should be a main focus in the second half here for the Pioneers, as they're already up. They don't need to do much more scoring. Just need to hold off the Knights and make sure they don't get the ball and the opportunities to get back in this game.
Yeah, we see it in any sport without, like football, we see, chew clock. You'll run it all the way, right up the center, but obviously in lacrosse, you don't have set plays like that, but you're going to keep possession more than you're focused on, those long passes to try to score, and vice versa for the Knights. It's almost the opposite. You want to keep possession, but you also need to get on that scoreboard as Conlon allows her second and pushes this lead 11-4, Kirkwood.
You want to keep the ball out of the Knights' hands if you're the Pioneers, but putting the ball in the Knights' goal isn't too bad of an idea either. Not
a bad idea to ever extend your lead. So you're at that lucky number 7. Jackson, are we at the point where maybe you do make a few changes? We obviously saw a change in front of those posts with the goalkeepers. But do you make a change? Maybe you put some of those more experienced players near up the top? Like we see here, where we see Gibbs up in the face-off yet again, as compared to we saw Larson doing it.
Honestly, Braden, we've already seen changes.
Yeah,
it might not be a player's issue. It may not always be your players. You may have to come together and find a new strategy as a team.
Yeah, and the other thing is you can't always make changes inside of this game to correct the issue, right? You're going to learn some things from this game. You're going to learn, hey, we need to focus on possession more than anything for these upcoming games. And maybe you focus more on, really attacking your opponent for the upcoming games this week. I know they play 4 this week. So, learning in each of these games with, obviously a lack of practice is important. And, hey, maybe they can come back in this game. As Conlon tries to find a teammate. Bit in the outfield there. She charges down the sideline. Plays a floater to Larson. That one connects. She's got an angle. Taking on that Kirkwood defense. Tries to put a bouncer behind the goalie. That one won't go. Goalkeeper finds a midfielder. That one to Devers. Merritt trying to collect. Devers, errant pass. And that one rolls. Not quite out of bounds. Gibbs will get the ground ball there. She plays it slow. Be another whistle. Oh, he's telling him to continue. There will be a continuation penalty there. Gibbs trying to find an angle. Be a loose ball. Will she be able to pick up her own ground ball? Goes the Kirkwood way.
Sloppy play here for both teams.
Yeah.
Neither really able to get a hold of the ball and make a possession. Another turnover for the Pioneers. And more dysfunction for the Knights.
It's Van Horn's chasing after that one. Plays a long ball to Cosby. Gets by her. And that one will roll all the way to the goalkeeper. The defender picking it up right before Mia Campbell. Goalkeeper will take her time trying to find a pass. That one intercepted by Merritt. Will it be a pick one? That'll be stopped.
A pick one? I'm not sure that rolls off the tongue. What?
Am I wrong?
Scoop and score?
Like, sure, it wasn't a scoop, though. She got it out of the air.
Catch and throw?
No, I like my pick one more.
I don't like pick one, man.
I like it.
I got to come up with something new there.
Pick and score. I don't know. I'll come up with something good. I'll have something good by the end of the game, Jackson. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll hold you to that.
I mean, I still have another 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah. 15 minutes of regulation. I got this.
A block there.
Gibbs trying to pick it up. It's Conlon directing her defense to get wide. Kreckler possesses with open field in front of her. Has her eyes on Varvera. Settles on Larson. Cosby, excuse me. She finds Larson, but that one won't go into the hands of the goalkeeper. It's Kirkwood right back in the action. 2-on-1. And that one finds the back of the net. Floated it over the goalkeeper. Great score for Kirkwood as that one makes it an 8-goal lead. That's a tough pill to swallow if you were the Knights. 3:01 on the clock. Just about exactly 15 minutes left in regulation here. Can the Knights scrap something together? Or more importantly, can they learn from this game and try to pick up a few things for their remaining schedule this week?
And, with Kirkwood tripling your score, the Knights, you're almost ready to just chalk this one up and put it in the right-hand column. I mean, we'd have to see an outburst in scoring as similar to the one Kirkwood put on early in this game.
Yeah,
we to get back into it.
We know it's not impossible. As Kirkwood's back in the action. They're keeping possession here, playing it slow. Arthur possesses, shaving a bit of clock. LDR carries it wide. Back to Arthur. They're playing patty cake, and LDR finds the net yet again. Her second of the day. Bit of a slow day for her. She nets her 9th of the season.
Baker's dozen here on the board for Kirkwood. We're looking at complete and utter domination.
Yeah, Jackson. I mean, this game shifted so quickly, right? For a good 4-minute pocket in that first quarter, we were talking about a game that was going to be very, very close. Two teams that appeared to be pretty similar in standing wise. The Knights at 1-3, Kirkwood 0-4 heading into this contest. Appears to be cruising away with their first victory.
I mean, on paper, two very aggressive, fast-playing teams. We knew it was going to be high scoring, just seems to only be in one team's favor here.
LDR possesses it yet again. Luby carries it. She tries to find an angle. That one will be saved.
The Knights seemingly just putting little pressure on the ball.
As the Knights regain possession here, potentially. Might be a penalty here. So there's a Kirkwood Pioneer on the dirt. You didn't like that one, Jackson?
I mean, in the dirt, the turf, the field, and we just spent, how much money we just spent on this school. We got better than dirt out here, Braden.
Okay, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Can act a little bougie here.
Yeah, that's true. On the pelleted turf.
Hard to act bougie down 10, but you gotta take your wins where you can.
As the Pioneers definitely acting bougie as they just put this to 10-goal lead just under a minute in this third quarter. So, yeah, Jackson, this now allows the running clock that we see when we do enter double-digit leads. That clock will now not stop for the rest of the game.
Just makes it a little bit more difficult for an already near impossible situation for the Knights to get out of.
We see a bit of a different formation in that face-off. We see both girls on opposite sides of the field. So it worked a little bit better for the Knights there as Van Horn's able to possess. Gibbs looking for a teammate. That one swatted out, but able to regain possession. Poking it around. That will be the end of this third quarter, and we enter our final 12 minutes of regulation. Jackson, that third quarter, it started pretty great for the Knights. It looked like maybe we were going to climb back. And, we may have spoken too soon as we now look at a 10-goal lead heading into our final quarter. Definitely not a game the Knights were hoping for. Playing at home, playing a team that you had a bit of a chip on your shoulder heading into today, losing the season series last year. And it's kind of just been a bit of a nightmare, so to speak.
See, that might be your first hit of the day, man. I can mess with a nightmare.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
See, I didn't even get there. I didn't even get there.
You wasn't connecting the
no,
dots there?
I didn't.
Just said.
No, I just said nightmare. Okay.
No, I thought you were using the pun.
I shouldn't have said anything. You made me sound smarter than I was.
Oh man. Well, it's okay. Maybe I'll give you a half a point there.
Okay.
Man.
Okay.
We got anything better than pick one?
No, I'm sticking with pick one.
Pick one.
Dude, it
makes it seem like
she intercepted it and she was trying to go score.
Pick one.
Yeah.
Oh no.
My producer next to me is giving a big thumbs down. I don't think he likes it either.
I mean, for the fans at home, what are we thinking? What's that? Oh, they don't like it either.
What? Jackson, I think you're a hater, man. I think you're a hater. So we tick into 30 seconds left in this intermission period.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about all that.
Instead of hating on my commentary.
I view myself as a realist.
Okay. All right.
I keep it real.
All right, realist.
I gave you.
Let's bring ourselves back to the field here.
Okay.
If you are the Pioneers, what are you doing in this final quarter, right? You in a way, kind of have this game in the bag. 10 goals, that 12 minutes going to be running the entire time. So if you are the Pioneers, is it just keeping possession that entire time? Is it, connecting 6 passes before you take a shot? What are you doing here if you're the Pioneer coach to ensure you can take this victory back home?
I mean, when you're in a game like this where it's, you don't never want to count a team out. You don't ever want to take a team light. But when you have a comfortable lead, it's almost time to start, using this last quarter to just prepare for the rest of your season. Let's see some new faces. Let's run some new plays. Let's try some new out. Let's see if we can get, some momentum in some of those areas, you never know when you're going to need to switch it up.
Yeah, and I mean, Jackson, you come from playing basketball, and I feel like in basketball there ends up being really high scores and some lopsided scores. You've obviously been part of some garbage time situations on both ends of the spectrum. What do you as a coach, if you were in that situation, do you play your point guard at a forward spot? Like when when you're trying to out new plays and new faces, you don't want to get too wild, right? You want to keep it in the realm of possibility, but how do you want to prepare here?
I mean, as a coach, you have positions that you want to put players in. You know where you want to see them end up, especially for maybe some of the younger freshmen and sophomores. You know where you want to see them their junior and senior year, and you want to place them in as similar as positions as you can get as to the ones that they will be seeing when they're expected to be leaders of this team.
Yeah.
And I feel like the sooner you can get them accustomed to that, the better chance you have for success in the future.
Yeah, let that freshman or sophomore play that forward spot that they wouldn't typically get playing time in a typical game, but with a 10-goal lead, you give them that opportunity. I see what you're saying.
Let your freshmen push the pace. Let them go try to score.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's trying something different also. So we see Varvera leading the charge here. So that one was near a goal there. Well-placed shot, but a great play by that goalkeeper for Kirkwood. Merritt kicking it around. Makes a nice move, but that ball pushed out. That will be a penalty as she takes another big fall. We saw one in that third quarter as well. Putting it all on the line for her Knights.
And Merritt taking a football hit there for a chance at this score. Love to see her capitalize.
She does not. What a great save. Kirkwood defense in general, just all, the defenders and the goalkeeper having a great day. We see 4 goals on the score sheet, but 2 of those coming from penalties. And I mean, your goal differential's 10. You did something right today.
Of course, you're not looking at any of the negatives here for Kirkwood right now. You can see the Knights here. We just are applying no pressure on these fast breaks.
As we see some new faces into the game. 26, Kelly Bradeau, checking into this game and playing a little bit of offense here. But we also see a few familiar faces also. We still see LDR. We still see Mia Campbell. And, of course, we still see Elise Arthur, that big 3, so to speak, who's, put such a big impact onto this game. But, yeah, like you said, Jackson took a page out of your playbook and given some of those younger players an opportunity.
It's always fun and, entertaining to see the new faces and see what they can bring.
Condon taking plenty of time to direct her defense and find the right pass. She's able to get that one into Hayslip, but a ground ball. She finds Cosby. She takes it up the center, right up the gut. That one won't stay in her net, though. Be a penalty. She will restart the action here. With that clock not stopping, we sit at 8:30. Just 3.5 into this game, or into this quarter, excuse me. As Kirkwood regains possession. It's 4-on-4 here. Makes a nice move. Devers into that offensive third. She kicks it right to the goalkeeper, though. Unfortunate.
I was going to say the Pioneers would have had a good opportunity to put the icing on the cake there, but to be quite real with you, the icing's already been there. It's about time maybe we're looking at the sprinkles.
Jackson, I think we may be looking at empty plates, man. I think the cake has already been eaten.
Has it?
Yeah,
it
might have been.
All that.
It might have been.
We're going on to the ice cream portion of it.
Oh, yeah, that does sound.
That's where we're at.
You're making me hungry, man.
Am I?
Yeah. I'm going to ban you from food references.
Are we? Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. You can get through 7 minutes without a food reference.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, it's going to be a minute away, and he's going to make another food references. That's another great shot from the Knights that just won't go. Playing around with it right in front of the goal. Kirkwood able to get it out of their zone. We have 2-on-4 here. It's Bryn Hubbard. Fights Hayslip.
The Pioneers in no hurry right now.
Yeah, just taking their time, keeping possession.
Coming up on the halfway point in the quarter. We're not seeing as much aggression.
LDR kicks it over.
You see some aggression for the Knights from Zadian Walker. You know, it's good to still have, you know, them out there competing and giving energy.
I totally agree.
You never want to just accept your fate in a game.
Yeah, exactly. You know, play until that final buzzer. Regardless of, you know, that's a realistic outcome. As a competitor, you always want to play until that final whistle. So it's great to see, you know, these younger players and even these older players still, you know, giving all they can. And obviously, like I mentioned before, it's a learning experience. No matter, you know, what the situation is, you can learn from every situation you find yourself in athletics. So there's a ground ball. Both teams fighting for it. Kirkwood tries to push it in. Tyron Luby on the ground there. Quite a few changes in possession here as Gibbs off the foot. Gosh. Presley not able to keep that one.
The Knights pushing, able to get it past midfield.
Cosby finds Larson. Larson finds Varvera. Varvera not able to keep it. Kirkwood pushing the pace a little bit. And that will be another goal for these Kirkwood Pioneers. Just brutal for the Knights. That lead now goes to 11. Bright side, only 4 minutes, 4.5 to go in this contest. But Jackson, not all negatives, right? You did score 4 in this game. When we look back to their most recent game against Northwest, we're only able to score 1, so you doubled that and then doubled it again. I couldn't think of the word for quadruple it. They quadrupled it.
Quadruple their score. And, you know, they did that without their best scorer. And, you know, when Laney Quant's able to come back and plug into this offense, we may see the Knights able to put up some of these higher scoring numbers like the Pioneers have today.
I couldn't agree more. It's another shot on goal that will find the back of the net. That puts them to 16.
And that is quadrupling the score right there.
Yes. Yes, indeed. They squared it. Jackson, you wouldn't know about that. You know.
I'm getting lost in our conversation here, man. You know.
I mentioned math.
Yeah.
Not a big algebra guy?
Nah, not at all. I was going to go back to the old, you know, you weren't lying. I was going to go back to the food topic, you know.
Oh,
This is the sprinkles on the cake, the whipped cream.
Is it?
We're past the icing. I mean, it's
okay.
We're getting to the.
Jackson, I haven't had dinner, man. I'm hungry.
Well, you know who should be hungry? The Knights. You know, they should.
They still are hungry.
They
Jackson.
should be hungry here to come back and
I'm still
It shows
very
some
impressed with with their competitive fire here. I think a lot of teams finding themselves down 12 goals would not be competing as hard as they are, but still, fast possessions, hard shots. Very impressed with how they've played despite this, very lopsided score.
With only about 2 minutes left, we're coming up on our last stretch of game time here. Pioneers completely control the ball and the game.
Luby just appearing to walk with it.
Are we going to see a sort of run out the clock moment here?
Not if the Knights have anything to do with it. They're still pushing. Larson back on defense. It's just a minute 46 to go. A great save. Morgan Conlon does not want to concede another. And Luby, great shot, finds the back of the net. Tyrion Luby, her first of the night.
And what may be the last goal of the game for either team here. Only about a minute left running clock. We're not going to see that much more of game time, folks.
Yeah, Jackson, I mean, despite the lopsided score, I think there's positives to both teams, right? We see for the Knights, we obviously, you need to learn. Pacing's a big issue in keeping possession. And then also, you need to get back in your defensive stance as soon as, that face-off happens. They've been caught off guard quite a few times where, Kirkwood's going to take that face-off and they're going to take it straight to your nose. You need to, be ready. And for Kirkwood, you see that, hey, that fast pace, quick is working very well for you, and that's something that you should lean on heavily. As Gibbs carries just under 30 seconds to go. Can the Knights get one last goal here? Try to clean up that score just a little bit more. As Kirkwood carries into that offensive third with just 10 seconds to go. Not quite, just 5 to go. Lash possesses. She's just going to carry it until the end of the clock. And that will be our final buzzer. Kirkwood 17, Francis Howell North 4. What a great performance for these Pioneers and a great learning opportunity for the Knights.
And you can see how much it means to these girls. What is their first win of the season, and a big one it is. They can definitely take this and build a lot of momentum. We see they can be a dangerous team, and if you're the Knights, you got 3 more games this week. You're not. You just need to chalk it up, put it behind you, move forward.
I totally agree. And when we look at this schedule, or when we look at our pregame notes, we talked about Lily Dudd Russing, we talked about Mia Campbell, and we talked about Elise Arthur. And I mean, talk about it going expected, Jackson. These 3 players played a massive role in this big win. If I can do my math right, 8 of those goals came from those 3 players. So a really great performance for them. And for the Knights, we talked about it before. They were without Lainey Quant tonight. Their co-leading scorer, I guess no longer after the good performance from Lexi Merritt. She was able to bag 2 tonight. A learning opportunity, and, you're going to try to bounce back later this week. Overall, great game. Kirkwood 17, Francis Howell North 4. I'm Braden Kettinger.
And I'm Jackson Calhoun.
Signing off.